that is facing this week's chair acquisition hails all the way from Space Portugal, and it shows. We're reviewing Slinki from Titan Forge Games, written on this Unity engine. It's $4.99 with stinky space buck euros, and they describe it as hack your way through a maddened forest with one angry bunny sharp, independently targeting Bionic shard of concentrated mayhem. It serves as the titular character's right arm, now fully detachable and slingshot capable for when you need to fling yourself across the street. That doesn't really describe what the game is, but we will. By God, we will. And of course, every week, we have the chair acquisition, the rules, the mantra. 1 chair means that it's garbage, 2 chairs means that's math, 3 chairs means that's pretty good, and 4 chairs is not something you're going to see in this review. And we also have our categories to do, mixed with the working, shiny sounds, controls, and fun. If you don't know how this works, go back, watch some other episodes on YouTube, give us some of that sweet advertising revenue. But let's kick this off. Then, did Slinkies make with the working, or did it roll down the stairs?
Well, Master Sling, how did it work? And how did the chairs judge it? Well, that's something we need to think about, because I tested it on the Ubuntu 1404 LTS. Octa-core 8150, 4K displayed, 980 powered box of business. And here's the thing. It doesn't even to this day make with a working, not in the slightest. But you do lose a chair for each day that your game is available for purchase on the Steam store in a completely non-playable and or functional state. And this one did it twice. So I'm going to have to say, makes with a working 2 chairs, J-Man.
Well, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of. Like, the menu system in there is completely borked. You cannot navigate anything. It's not really apparent how to, like, select levels or anything like that. So, it squeaks away with 3 chairs for mix with the working.
On what?
But it's not going on the Fedora 21 powered 64-bit 980 4K powered box of business.
Okay, how many chairs?
Yeah.
3 chairs?
3.
All right.
Yes. And on the Amiga with the FX 8370E, overclocked at 4 GHz, and the GTX 970 Strix on Corora 21 64-bit with Plasma 5 KDE5. For those of you who don't know what that is.
Somebody run it.
Yeah, so the moment I click play on the game, executable missing. Okay, time to bug the devs. And since they're Portuguese, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. We had a little discussion with them because I couldn't communicate properly, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Translate, monkey.
As you can see in the description that Jordan, or here, in the description that Jordan gave earlier, their English, not very good. But in any case, I was like, yeah, you need to fix this because it's still not downloading anything. And he went looking, I suppose, and he saw, oh, crap, I forgot to tie the Linux depot to the release version. Yeah, it should be working now. So I restart Steam, fire it back up. Yeah.
So after we QA'd this game for them,
yeah.
After paying for it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But then I start the game, and I see, oh, look, it's the Unity pop-up. -1 chair right off the bat. And then the game had some issues, but they have since sort of fixed that. But that Unity pop-up, that's the sign of a lazy developer right there. Because if you're not going to commit to your game, I sure as hell am not going to commit to giving you a proper score. 3 chairs.
Oh yeah, so that's 3. That's 2 chairs for mix with the working. Sort of lost track there playing with my sleevey things. Up next, shiny and sounds. Ven, was it shiny? Well, it wasn't.
One soundtrack to rule them all that you can't disable. That's brilliant. And it's just that one soundtrack that goes over.
It's called Pulse Audio Control.
Over and over. No, I'm just trying to be fair. I mean, I wouldn't want to confuse an Archer user. But dear flying spaghetti monster, what noise does that thing make when you have contact with an enemy? I haven't heard anything that disturbing since we picked up the sex swing for the L.G.C. office. I mean, it's terrifying. And so much screen tearing. It's miserable. It will break your eye pussies in half. I can hear my 980 begging begging me to have a go. It's like, I can sort this, but like, nope. Screw you! We're going to lock this at 60 FOPS, even though VSync is complete rubbish under Linux. So mix that with unable to, outside of going into Pulse Audio, disabling and all that, cut on the soundtrack and just half frames going all the way through. And it doesn't matter what you do because it's Unity. I'm going to give this Shiny and Sounds. I'm going to give it 2 chairs. J-Man, what are you going to say about that, son?
Yeah, no, that soundtrack was pretty horrendous. I noped it in Pulse Audio within the first couple minutes and replaced it with Blind Guardians Beyond the Red Mirror, which is much, much better and a much better soundtrack than this game deserves. The visuals, it's very much of my first Unity game. The backgrounds, the backgrounds are the worst because it's not really clear what you can jump on versus what you cannot jump on. So you're going to get yourself killed with insta-kill spikes going, okay, I'm going to land here. Wait, what? No, what? Why? And yeah, so it definitely loses some points for that. But like I said, the game is so full of stock Unity assets, it's actually kind of pathetic. So I got to give it 2 chairs because the graphics are there, but it again squeaking by here.
Yeah, and besides the fact that the visuals are actively working against you, and someone could make the argument that the audio is doing the exact same thing because that fucking thing was loud. I had to mute it at the moment it started. But yeah, if you pay attention to the screenshots, you can tell that the backgrounds, the little background thingies that they built on the level, they always look the same. They just change the color palette around. That's it. There's no imagination going into the graphics of this game. I can't give it 1 chair because 1 chair means that it's just outright busted and you can't see a damn thing. So I have to give it very reluctantly 2 chairs.
One thing worth mentioning that I forgot to say in my part, if you had this game after they added the Linux depot, everything was black. Yes. I had some screenshots in the show notes, but we nixed that story. I'll see if I can find them again, but it's just darkness imprisoning me. But it gets 2 chairs on Shiny and Sounds. Anyways, up next, Control,
relax. Wow. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The first thing you're greeted with is the Unity pop-up screen of Nope. Minus 2 chairs. Now, while the controls are mapped to the X-Clone controller, they're mapped in such a way it makes it completely unplayable. Seriously. And anyone who claims they can sort that Moonglyph box of Unity control sorting is a damn liar. Sorry. Using the keyboard plus your gerbil worked, maybe, but the input sluggishness, it's so sluggish. It would make Superman 64 mothering blush. That's all I got to say about that. But just for shits and giggles, since you're effectively forced to play it with your keyboard and your gerbil, and you have to use your gerbil for your secondary aiming mechanic, nope, there's no sensitivity settings, anything like that. You're just stuck with that business. And we have the physics. Oh, man. We have the physics, don't we, P-Man?
Oh, yeah.
In what moon universe does a character accelerate at the end of their jump? Question mark. That doesn't make anything fuck you hard. It makes me question your ability. I don't know. To pull a glue stick out of your mouth. The dude's got a PhD
on something.
Yeah, marketing.
And you know what? I could actually live with that. But the fucking thing, here's the fucking thing. It loses gerbil focus if you play it in a window, if you open up Steam Overlay. Yep. You know, you hit Shift Tab, like, pause that for a minute, no, go over here and chat now. Gone. And that's your entire half of your mechanic. I shit you not. It makes it wholly unplayable. But I'm not done yet. But wait! There's more! Try to exit the game using your gerbil. Do it. I fucking dare you. You got it. You barely twitch. I spent like 5 minutes of like, I'm going to do this. Personally, me, Vin fucking Stone. I'm going to say I managed to quit this damn game using my gerbil. Alt F4, I gave up. So, busted controls. Period. They don't work with the controller organ. They're lazy. They didn't bother to use X input, SDL2, all that fun stuff. And the way it's mapped to a controller is laughable beyond belief, / completely unplayable unless you hate somebody, and maybe that might make a fun Let's Play. Mix that with losing mouse focus and a windowed mode that you haven't fixed yet, Brad. Your shit's busted, son. 1 chair. All you get.
Oh, man. Speaking of hating yourself, I hate myself, so I played through the first 3 levels using nothing but a controller. And my God. So let's put it this way. Let's get me a visual aid here. I was using this Hori Pro Xbox 360 controller. So, this button is boomerang. This button is jump. And then you have aim and move. Those are your only controls. And it's ass fucking stupid. Why would you put your jump button on the as like the left shoulder button? That makes no sense. You either set it to A or Y, the topmost or the bottommost button or the
because
bottommost
they
space
thought
button.
Unity would do it for them, Brad.
Oh yes, of course, the magical Unity controller support. Real tempted to give it 1 chair, but it is actually playable if you want to use a controller. It takes a while to get used to.
A controller in full screen.
Yeah, a controller in full screen. It's pretty fucking painful. I'll give it that. I didn't actually try it with the keyboard and mouse or in Windows mode, so I can't speak to anything Ben said. Really tempted to give it 1 chair, but I can't because the controls do technically work, but it's not like my score in this matter will affect its overall grade. So it gets 2 chairs, but it's going to get overruled by this guy.
Yep. So this is a platformer. Make no mistake, this is an action platformer, and the controls are floaty as fuck, as most Unity games tend to be. Like Ven said, physics don't work that way. You jump, and your character actually accelerates as he's jumping, and then the moment he touches the ground, it's like he never jumped at all. It's like the exact same speed. What the heck? And then there's the fact that you say you're trying to land on a platform to avoid yourself from falling into, the endless pits or the insta-kill spikes. Yeah, you really can't manage how your character is jumping if he keeps overshooting the platform. So, all that aside, because I know physics are hard, man, but here's the kicker. I was about 50 minutes into the game and the spacebar stopped working. And I'm like, why is it not jumping? So I close the game. I opened something. I think it was actually Google Chrome. Just hit the spacebar. Yeah, the cursor is moving, so the spacebar is working. All right, so it's not the keyboard. I went back into the game, saw the Unity pop-up come up, reassigned the jump key to another key, and it didn't work either. So then I proceeded to uninstall the game, remove the config files, and reinstall it again. Nope, no dice. So there's probably a configuration file somewhere in my hard drive that I did not find, and it's not in the usual places. So I lost the ability to jump on a platformer. Congratulations. It takes a special kind of busted to pull that one off. 1 chair.
And that's 1 chair for controls. And now, to cap off this review, the fun section. Ben, did you enjoy yourself at all?
I'm gonna need a drink before I get into this.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right. This night match, right? Okay, listen. I get that it's trying to make a Sonic on a budget with a grappling mechanic. I get it. That's fantastic. Thing is, Sonic, even on the Genesis, conveyed a sense of speed. This, ? The little guy's hunched down. He's like he's ready to skull fuck the sound barrier, but he moves at the speed of smell, Brad. Not really seeing it. What's the story? Who am I? What am I? Why do I care about running and jumping? I don't. It's never explained in game. But if you go to the Steam page and you read up on all, then that's, yeah, all right. No, let's not do that. And where the hell did you get, and I want to quote from your Steam page, Slinki is hard as nails 2.5D action platformer. Where did you get that from? What the all are nails made of in Space Portugal? Mayonnaise?
Cheese.
I don't know. I had no fun with this. I tried to have fun with this. I put an hour of my valuable life into this, and it didn't give me anything back. Nothing. It's a thing, and we spent roughly 15 wet stinky cashes between the three of us. We had to help the Devels. It's like, oh, it doesn't work. And I was like, yeah, that's what you get for QAing your shit in a VM, because I guarantee you that's what they did, and they thought it worked. So let me tell you about your game, Brad. You get one chair, because that's being generous.
I sincerely doubt the Linux version of this was even QA'd. They hit export, and they shipped it off, clearly.
Probably.
Anyways, this game isn't hard. It's annoying because you're constantly fighting the controls, which are terrible. And that is basically where any of the difficulty from this game comes from. Is, oh, I overshot this. I'm got to start from the beginning. Oh, I overshot this. Got to start from the beginning. If you wanted to make this hard, you would have removed half of the freaking checkpoints that you have here, because there's one after every single jump, pretty much.
That now works.
So, yeah. This is clearly the first attempt at a game. The platforming is stale. The gimmick has already been done before, and I'm not even having fun. You know what this game actually kind of reminded me of? That other freaking one that was just the boss fights.
Isbra, yes.
Isbra. It kind of reminds me of Isbra, and I hated that game too. Supposedly there is a story to this game. I can't fucking figure it out for the life of me. And you have to tell the story through the game. That's just how it works. But like Ven said, don't tell me to check the Steam page. It's dumb. You wasted an hour of my life, sirs, and I want it back. One chair.
Yeah, here's the thing. What they were trying to do was that they were trying to create one of those rage platformers that are, well, they're all the rage on YouTube right now. All the
I see what you did there.
PewDiePies and all the Markipliers and the Cinnamon Toast Kens and everyone out there is playing a rage platformer so they can shout and cuss at the camera and have all the 10-year-olds giggling maniacally.
I think you're overestimating that.
Yeah, here's the thing. They tried to do that, but they failed. What this is my first Portuguese Unity game.
Damn, that means something.
Maybe if I wasn't so jaded about bad Unity games, I might even have considered some leniency towards this guys. On accounts of them being Portuguese and all that. Unfortunately for them, I'm far too jaded at this point when it comes to Unity and really shitty Unity Linux games. I can't give it 0 chairs because that's not allowed, but I will give it 1.
Damn, 1 chair. So apparently, unlike black, brown cracks.
That's one chair for fun and 1 chair overall. That's fucking awful. Ven, you had some choice words for them as a final thought.
All right, so that's a big no. Hashtag Lana.
No.
I'm going to give you a bit of free advice. I've consulted on more indie games than you've made. I assure you of that. And here's the thing. You could have had sold a few copies on Linux, but you half-arsed it, Brad. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You had no chance of making any money on the Windows Store because there's other games with the same bullshit mechanics that do it better. And what really scares me is what we're seeing here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Because when you first start this business, this nonsense, this nightmare fuel, this rapist of your time, you see, the Unity didn't pay for it edition
personal.
I know. And I fear this is just the first droplet in the upcoming flood of what is to come. Any other thoughts?
No, I think that caps it off nicely. This is hopefully this is an indicative of what is to come, but I don't know. This game is just fucking awful. Don't buy it.
Yeah,
Pretend
contrary
it
to
doesn't
popular
even exist.
belief, I don't actually enjoy shitting on games. And I am Portuguese. I would very much like to see an indie team from Portugal actually pull off a good game. These guys did not. This is shit. Pure, unabated shit.
Now, what if this game was on Greenlight?
I wouldn't fucking vote for it.
Well, and they couldn't give away keys to get people to vote for it either.